Is there long-term plans, Tate, of wanting to live in Miami, wanting to live in Florida?
So here's the story of Miami. Last time I came here, I don't know if you remember, I caught a criminal case for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I thought this was America. But it turns out, you know, communism was alive here in Florida just the same. Show me the man and I'll find the crime. And DeSantis and his little girlfriend, the AG, I have no idea if he's even still in power, decided to investigate me for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I expected a hero's welcome. And I have yet to give the 1.5 hour story of what actually happened to me. Nobody actually understands what has happened to me yet. And it takes an hour and a half for me to explain from start to finish. But let me make it very, very quick for everybody at home so they understand. I was deemed a national security threat by the British state. I was the most Googled man on the planet. And they said I had so much control over the young men inside of the UK. They said I was an unchecked source of influence. And there was an intelligence operation specifically designed to dampen my influence. I have the paperwork. I have the chronology. I have all of the proof that I was set up by a sovereign state. The Brits hit me with all of this crap from start to finish. So when I finally escaped detention without a conviction, after 4 years of being locked in jail and in my house, and return home to America, the country my father served for, the country I was born in, I expected a hero's welcome. And what did I walk into? I walked into a crock of shit from DeSantis and his little fucking girlfriend, saying that I'm not welcome even though I'm a citizen, and that I'm a bad person even though I'm not convicted, and that I'm going to be investigated. And I'm quite glad they investigated me, because let me tell you something. You're not going to meet another person on the street who's been investigated more than me. I've been through more investigations by more different agencies than anybody else you're probably ever going to meet. And here I am free talking to you. So they dampened and destroyed and completely ruined my first experience in Florida. Those clowns did, for no reason, to an American citizen who should have got a hero's welcome after being detained in the most corrupt country in Europe. I hate to get angry about this, but it destroyed 4 years of my life. Let me ask, since when does anybody, with all due respect, give a fuck about what the Romanians say? The Romanians said, it's corrupt. Who cares what the Romanians said? If you were to tell me the Romanians said that he did this, it was like the Romanians said. Who gives a shit what they say?
Is that where Dracula's from?
We have problems with corruption in the American system. We're talking about the poorest country in Europe. It's absolutely insane what happened to me. And when I finally give you the 1.5 hour rendition with the paperwork, with the proof that I was set up by the British state specifically to damage my influence over young men, that they knew I was innocent. That's the reason Romanians have let me go. Where's my trial? I've yet to be fucking charged with anything. My life was completely wrecked. All because I became the most Googled man in the world and wasn't saying the things they want me to say. Completely wrecked. I land here, DeSantis and his fucking girlfriend ruin it. And I leave, and I go to a country where I'm finally treated with respect. I went to Dubai. Every single person in the UAE, at every single level of power, says the same thing to me. It is completely unfair what happened to you, and I cannot believe what the people in Florida did to you when you got free. Everybody says it. At the top, all the way to the bottom. Florida completely destroyed its entire reputation with this garbage. They did. And internationally, it is spoken about. I just went to a meeting in the Bahamas. I had to do some banking and move some money around. And I sat there with Tristan and said, it would be nice to go see Justin in Miami. It'd be nice to go see the guys in Miami. It'd be nice to do PBD. And he said, if we go there, DeSantis and his girlfriend are going to arrest us. And I said, for what? We haven't done anything. He goes, it doesn't matter. It's a matrix attack. And we sat there and thought, you know what, fuck them. And we came. I landed here expecting to be arrested. Isn't that crazy? As an American citizen who's never done anything wrong, never been convicted of any crime in his life anywhere, never even lived in Florida, I've been here 3 times in my life, that I'm afraid to come back to a city because I'm looking at bullshit, made-up charges from people trying to score political points on fucking Twitter? I thought this country was free. So I flew here, and it turns out they didn't arrest me. Do you know why? Because they ain't got shit. Because I haven't fucking done anything. And I am truly, from the bottom, if you want to talk about this nightclub incident, I am truly tired of the amount of heat that is constantly on my head and the amount of pressure that's constantly on my back. Sure, I'm a man. Sure, I can deal with it, of course. I don't like the fact that I can't take a piss without an international incident. I don't like this. I don't like that I finally get back to Miami. I make the brave choice to come here looking at a possible arrest. And then I think, okay, I'm doing a stream with guys I've never met before. It turns out to be the biggest stream on the internet at the time with hundreds of thousands of viewers. It's Nick's first time in a club. Let me go. It's his first time. Don't be the boring old man, Andrew. It's only 10 minutes. Go. And all this bullshit happens. I don't like all this constant and endless bullshit. So, of course, I'm sitting there in hindsight going, oh, for fuck's sake, wish that didn't happen, wish that didn't happen. But I also didn't see when I left Romania and landed here, I'd be wrecked by those clowns. So to answer the question, do I want to live in America? Yes, I'm an American. But the power structures here are so decentralized. I'm in Kamala Harris's book. Read it, 107 Days, page 176. I lost the election because people changed the young men's vote. The young men went so right-wing because of people like Andrew Tate. Kamala says, I'm one of the reasons Trump won. I know the Trump team like me. I know the Trump family like me. But I land here and some state clowns are going to wreck my life. The power here is so decentralized. I don't feel safe here. I don't get how anything works. Trump is supposed to be the boss. He can't even pass a law without some dickhead judge ruining. I don't understand what's going on in America anymore. So I feel safe in the UAE because I know who the boss is.
Didn't the Trump administration have a couple people that came to your defense and helped nothing happened to you? Because I think there was something going on there as well.
You mean to my defense with the Romania case?
No, with the Florida case.
I have no idea. I don't know. What I do know is that I'm at this stage in my life now where the threats are empty. Investigate me. Shoot me. Arrest me. Put me in jail. Like, if you think you can build a case, go. You look at all the crap the AG said of Florida. You look at how he ran his mouth on the news, all the stupid tweets he made. How you telling me he didn't try his absolute best to get me? Of course he did. He wrote to the Brits. He wrote to the Romanians. He was asking for information from everybody. He was trying his absolute best to get me, and he can't even fucking arrest me for questioning. Clown show. So do I want to live in America and Miami? Yes, but I don't want to live in a clown show. I don't want to live in this mess where power is so decentralized. And unfortunately for me, I score so many political points, either right or left, that my life is just thrown into the limbo like, well, this is good for my career wrecking.
You know what?
This is crazy.
Say, Tate, somebody could say, if you go to Dubai, do you play by Dubai's rules?
Okay, but what are the rules of America, sir? Because I thought we had free speech. Clearly we don't.
I get that, but I'm talking about the ruls of Dubai. When you go to Dubai, do you play by Dubai's rules?
100%. So what are the rules of America?
Well, let me kind of go to where I'm going with this. This whole thing of what you can and can't say opinion-wise that DeSantis and his camp in Florida is trying to pass, I'm not part of that community. People need to be able to debate out anything. Whatever you want, you got to be able to debate it out. But also, if you're wanting to come to Florida, right? And you know, like certain, culture is going to be in a certain way. You either say, I want to come here. You can't say, you guys better change or else I'm not coming. No. This is Florida.
I'm not telling anyone to change. I'm answering the question of, do I have a plan to live in Miami? And what I'm saying is, I was so disappointed by what DeSantis and his girlfriend did to me when I landed here that I've learned that, truthfully, the American system doesn't support free speech, and it doesn't support the idea you're innocent until you're convicted. It doesn't support any of the things it pretends to support. The system here is complete clown show. It's a joke. After what they did to me, truthfully, no, I don't see myself ever.
But it didn't work, though.
Of course it didn't work. But why should I come here and buy a $20 million property knowing there's an AG sitting there trying to put me in jail so he can get Twitter followers? That's bullshit.
AG's been trying to put Trump in jail for a while.
Exactly. It's a joke. This whole thing is stupid. I truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, am heartbroken for the state of America. I think this is crazy. We have the best president we could ever possibly hope for. And still, we have this kind of garbage and decentralized attacks and random judges. A random AG in Alabama can type up some crap and ruin my life right now. I don't feel safe in this country. I don't feel safe here. And I don't feel safe here not because I've done anything wrong, not because I'm convicted of crimes. I don't feel safe here because I'm a scalp. I'm a scalp, and everyone wants my head on the wall. And I like to go to places and live in places and invest my money in places where very important, powerful people who understand the world say, yes, you're too big to exist in a system that is so decentralized. There's going to be too many people inside of that system who want your head. And on a long enough time frame, especially with a 4-year cycle where everything can change, they're going to get your head. You need to live somewhere with stability, sir. And I'm going to say thank you very much. Let me plan for the next 20 years with me and my children, and let me build some towers. America's a joke now. America's falling apart. And I'm not saying that happily. I'm an American. What I'm saying is there's a very strong chance in the next 3 years that psychopaths get back in the house. You think me with a $25 million mansion in Miami, I'm going to survive the Dems coming back? I don't stand a hope. And not because I've done anything wrong. Everyone's out to get me. Everyone's out to get me. So what am I supposed to do, right? As well as, we can also add into the fact that if I want to be pessimistic and argue that the Western Hemisphere is collapsing in real time, America's certainly not as bad as Europe. And I will actually argue that the Venezuela operation was fantastic for American soft power. I actually think that put America back on the map. I think the Venezuelan operation saved America for at least 5 more years. But in general, as the quality of life in Western countries declines, and we can all argue that it probably is, I'll ask you, 2016 to 2025, the amount of money that has been printed by the American government, the amount the GDP of this country has increased in the last 10 years, if you were to actually look at the number on a piece of paper, it's hard to even fathom. It's incalculable amounts of money. It's trillions of dollars. Does America feel richer to you? Does it look richer to you? We've printed trillions of dollars in 10 years, and the country looks worse than ever. I come here for the first time in ever. The infrastructure is crap. The traffic's out of control. It's a mess. I live in the UAE where they have no taxes and everything works perfectly. Here I'm giving half my money away. So we're getting richer on paper. The whole place is falling apart. The Western world in real time is falling apart. I think the whole world is falling apart. If I put my hands together and do this, I can feel the fire of the world burning. And my theory is that as we have a collapse and an implosion of the way of life we've always known, as laws stop functioning, because we're at the limit of law in America. We're at the absolute upper limit of what law can fix and tolerate. Look at Minnesota. Law isn't working. Police aren't working. The system isn't working. People are getting arrested for things and no one's going to jail, or they're making bail, or they're going to jail and getting out 25 times, murdering people. The cracks that already exist in a society are going to become much larger than cracks. They're going to become rivers, fissures. And American society is already on the edge between races, Republican and Democrats, between men and women. Everyone here hates each other. And as things implode, I don't see a civil war in other places in the world because the cracks are not as large. This place is teetering on the edge of violence all of the time. It's crazy. So to answer your question, sorry to be so impassioned, I love Miami. I'm an American. I love you guys. My best friends live here. I, besides the nightclub, have a nice time here. It's a great place. I would love to buy a big fat house and a boat and enjoy myself here. I don't feel safe in this country anymore. People want to kill me for my watch. The government want me in jail, or some of them do for their careers. Women want to lie about me for fucking payday. What am I supposed to do here? What life am I supposed to have? Walk around with 20 bodyguards and guns? It is a shame that America's become such a mess that I can't live here. What I can do is visit for a week or two and hope to get out without an indictment. And it's crazy. And that's a failure of America. That's not a failure of me. I'm not doing anything. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I don't take steroids. I sit on my laptop. And I made the biggest mistake in the world, which is go to a nightclub for the first time in years for 15 minutes. I can't fucking piss without catching a case. So no, I can't live here.
Can I, may I please?
Of course.
I'm going to break this down. You're such a good speaker that I have to process what you're saying, agree, and then filter out the bullshit.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
No, absolutely.
You're so good, and I've sat with you for hours.
Thanks.
I'm like, Tate, yes, no, yes.
Let's hear the bullshit. Let's hear the bullshit.
Has the world come against you? Has the world gone crazy? Have you been debanked, deplatformed, come against you? I don't believe you're guilty of anything.
Of course.
Other than being a loudmouth, biracial, somewhat racist. And that's why I love you.
Somewhat, yeah.
But America, and let me be super clear, is still the greatest country in the world, and it is always going to be the greatest country in the world, and we still have problems like crazy. You want to go back to the UK?
Of course not.
Hell no.
Of course not.
Hell no. Look at your boy Tommy Robinson.
England's done.
So what did your boy Winston Churchill say? Your boy. democracy is the greatest form of government, except for all the other governments that have been tried. So I'll ask you this.
Understand.
You want to go back to the UK and live under a sham democracy, communism?
Of course not.
You want to go live under Sharia law in Iran?
I understand.
Hell no.
Listen.
So yes, I understand America has problems.
Yep.
But you're coming into the wrong room to play the America's bad victim card.
I'm not playing the America's bad. What I'm trying to do, America's not bad, and I'm an American. What I'm trying to explain is for my own personal scenario, my own personal situation, I'm trying to optimize for stability. Now, it is true. America, one of the best things about it is if the government turns against you, as DeSantis and his girlfriend did, you do stand a chance of beating it. I'm very aware that if the government of the UAE turn against me, I'm not going to win in court. I'm not stupid. I understand that. But also, we have to sit now and have a discussion as rational adults in a collapsing world as to why CZ from Binance, Pavel from Telegram, Ray Dalio just did it, why most of the world's wealth is going to the most stable country in the world, the UAE. And it is because there's none of this decentralization of power. There's a lot of other very powerful people who say the same thing as me. You can't trust America. Some AG in Alabama is going to wreck your life. You can't be there. You have to be here. It's stable. And I'm not the only person who's saying that. I'm sitting with other billionaires, American billionaires saying that. I would love to live in America, guys. I'd love to be with you guys every single day. I would. And I'm not here trying to clown America or insult America, but America has really big problems. And for me personally, it's hard to feel safe here.
Let me just say one quick response. Dude, if I'm you, I think the exact same way. Everyone I talk to that goes to UAE says it's amazing, it's incredible. We have one guy in BDC.
Thanks.
They call him
You're a man.
like sexual chocolate Dubai. Like he loves it there. So, go ahead. You got to fix that?
No, I'm good.
What you're saying is true, and the rest of the world should wake up. And that's in the most chaotic region of the world.
Yep.
There's a little country called Dubai or called UAE that's actually doing it right.
Yep.
So this is why when people take the Islamic extremism, I go, well, it's not everywhere. They actually have a peace agreement with Israel.
Yep.
The two probably most stable countries
That's true.
in the Middle East.
That's true.
Whether you like Israel or not.
There's Jews all in Dubai.
There's Israel and Dubai
Yeah.
because it's GDP, not GDT. Gross domestic product, not gross domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
So you're bringing a valid point about Dubai, and I need to go there. So hopefully we can go. Here's my question. Could you say what you're saying, criticizing UAE, if you felt this way?
Absolutely not.
That's why America's number one.
If I felt that way. So here's the important thing to understand. I am not delusional as to the idea that UAE is not a free country. Of course not. But luckily for me, all of their views align with my views. So the things I'm not allowed to say are things I don't want to say. So luckily, I don't feel the constriction. But you're completely right in regards to, I can't criticize the government in the UAE, not from the UAE, that is true. And I'm not saying it's a perfect country, and I'm not saying they do absolutely everything right either. What I'm saying is I'm trying to optimize my life, personally, just so everyone here understands me, so that I can raise my children and stay out of jail. And the chance of me going to jail here is 1,000 times higher than there because of the decentralization of power and the fact that I'm a scalp. That's the bottom line of it. And that's why it's very difficult for me to invest money in America. As American as I feel, as American as I want to be, I would love to live in Miami, guys. I'm just answering the question and explaining why I don't feel safe to do it and why many other very prominently rich, well-known people don't feel safe to do it. I sit with CZ, Pavel, I sit with billionaires who all say the same thing. America's a war zone. You're not safe there. In a few years, the Dems might win. You can't invest there. And people are saying you can't trust America across the next 20 years. And if you're going to make a 20-year investment, you're looking for stability. So I love America.
I am so optimistic about the future with America. I can't even describe it to you. Having said
Please,
that,
I'd love correct me and I'll buy a house today.
No, well, I'll
Let's go. I want to live here
I got
anyway.
a good realtor for
but
you.
I will tell
He's
you.
a Jewish guy. Man.
No, but I will tell you. I will tell you also who I may not recommend to want to live in America. And I may say, this isn't a place for you. For example, I don't belong in L.A. And I get it. I don't belong in L.A. I'm talking to a bishop the other day from the Syrian community. We're having a conversation about potentially putting in a Syrian leadership event together and hosted by us at the hangar here. And I said, how often you come to L.A.? Once a year. Why is that? I don't agree with the lifestyle of L.A.
Yep.
How they raise their kids, how they and not the people that are living there. I'm talking the standards by Newsom, the government, all of that, taxes, small business owners, regulation, 1099, W-2. I can list 50 reasons why I can't live in the state of California, period. And they just did their gerrymandering that now it's going to be the Congress in California is 52 congressmen and women they have. Do you know after this recent gerrymandering, it's going to be 48 Democrats, 4 Republicans. Wow. You know what that compares to? That compares to Venezuela. Wow. That compares to Brazil on what the House looks like. So California is becoming a Brazil or a Venezuela, and guess what? The billionaires are leaving. Now, here's the thing. You take all the billionaires in the world, right? There's about, 3,000 billionaires in the world. Of the 3,000 billionaires in the world, 1,300 of them are in America.
Correct.
There's a reason for it. Now, Sergey Brin.
The reason for it, Patrick, and I hate to interrupt, is because here they can buy enough political clout to not go to jail. And I'm not a billionaire like that. It's because they're so entrenched with government that they're above the law. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
And in the UAE, they can't do that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about everybody. I don't know if that's the case with everybody. Like Sergey Brin, they ran Google, okay? Bezos runs Amazon. Musk runs, a bunch of companies.
Yeah, they can't put these people in jail because they're the economy.
But also, they are the economy, but they're also not criminals. They're running companies.
I'm not a criminal, but I'm not the economy.
I didn't say you're saying that. What I'm saying to you is, if you're saying they're avoiding having to go to jail and all this, if you go out there and build a company, build a business, you just have to know, Newsom doesn't like you. And California doesn't like you. They want to put a wealth tax. And guess what? New York doesn't like billionaires. So this Mamdani guy is going to say, he's going to wreck you. And guess what? Guess what in America you get a chance to do? You got 50 states to choose from.
That's right.
I lived in Texas. And by the way, I will tell you one thing about Texas. I can easily make an argument for Dallas, Texas, for somebody that's planning on being private equity, business, access to money, access to resources. Goldman Sachs is building an 800,000 square foot facility in Dallas. It's going to be their second headquarters, Texas Stock Exchange. There are so many great arguments for Dallas, Texas. So many of them. There's plenty of arguments here. Miami, who's coming here, the wealth, a lot of the billionaires are moving down here. Markets going up. They have to protect themselves. They have to protect the assets. They have to vote accordingly. That's the, the things that you have here. At the same time, is there a case for UAE coming up? Are you kidding? Of course there is. Is there a case for, Dubai, what they're doing? Of course there is. How many democracies have lasted the longest? They don't. They don't last that long of a time. Right. Monarchies do. You can go look back and see how many monarchies. I think the oldest monarchy, Japan, was 2,600, 2,556. Our good friend Curtis Yarvin forced us to know this kind of stuff. We had a week ago or 2 weeks ago. There is risk to democracy. There's risk to democracy. So if I was to say for you, you also made a couple choices with your lifestyle. You chose to become, when you went to prison and you said the letter, when you guys were together with you and Tristan, which you guys played one of the greatest pranks ever in jail, which I till today.
Christmas one?
That is by far
Rush Hour.
Greatest, one of the greatest things these guys did.
That's one of the
that is one of the best ever stories.
You don't know what these guys did? They bugged our cell and we were talking about Ricky Tan.
Oh, Ricky Tan.
Yeah, but
that was good.
That is hilarious when you guys did that. But to me, when you were in prison and you said, none of my Christian guys will write me letters, but my God, I got a lot of letters from Muslims. And then you chose to become a Muslim yourself. Okay? And you're still practicing? Would you still consider yourself? Yes. Have you thought about leaving and going back to Christianity?
No. And before we get into religion, because that's a long conversation, everything you just said about Newsom, I agree with. Everything you said about New York, I agree with. If I go to California right now, Newsom would love to find any possible excuse to indict me. Of course. That's why you won't do business. I
wouldn't go to California.
Okay, and that's why you won't go Cali. You won't do business in Cali.
I won't.
All right? If I go New York, Mamdani would love to parade me all over the news, 100%. New York Southern District, and say I'm a human trafficker. Of course he would. But guys, the leader of Florida did the same crap to me. I flew to Florida for a reason. I got out of Romanian detention, looked at the map of America, and thought, Florida's based, and they proved that they're not. DeSantis proved he's a punk.
And they failed.
And his girlfriend, and they failed. But that doesn't matter. I should not have to live in a hostile environment where I'm constantly and endlessly investigated and followed for no reason. And I don't have any reason to do that. If Florida, you guys chose Florida because it's good to you. It ain't good to me. And that breaks my heart. My father served for this country. I have the passport. It breaks my heart that Florida betrayed me as it has and has only ever betrayed me. What am I supposed to do, sir, but live somewhere else? You wouldn't live in Cali for the same reason I can't live here.
Yeah, but DeSantis doesn't like the way you live.
When DeSantis stands up, I don't care. I'm an American, and I don't owe him shit. And when DeSantis stands up and apologizes to me, when the AG apologizes to me, I'll consider it. And Byron Donalds is a punk, too, because he sold out and went on the news and started talking shit, calling me a human trafficker. I've never been convicted. The point of America in general, the point of democracy is innocent until proven guilty. If they get quizzed about me, if they stand up on the news and they say, what do you think of Andrew Tate? They have a very easy answer. We live in a democracy. It's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know the specifics of his case. What I know is he is not convicted. They don't have to sell out like punks. They don't have to start saying I'm not welcome here. If the senator or the governor tells me I'm not welcome here, you know what? Then fucking keep it. I'm not a beg. I'm not desperate. And I don't give a shit if Ron DeSantis likes how I live or not. To be honest, I don't care. I'm an American citizen. I came here. I've been convicted of no crimes. And for the same reason you won't live in Cali or Mamdami's New York, I can't live here until these clowns apologize to me.
But you're right.
I'm right. So I'm out of here.
But you're right. But the other part. Okay. So do you know right now who in here can choose to sue Adam and say, I really don't like his smug answers, right?
You can.
That's where you're going with this.
No, what I'm
Both dicks.
in this country we're living in, we had a guy that sued Vinny. It's a funny story because of a video we showed, and one of the videos that showed, accidentally a picture of another person was shown. That guy sued for $500,000.
Welcome to America.
To say, and by the way, he sued from Canada.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, he sued from Canada. But you know what happened?
They're not even a country. That's our suit. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Greenland's next. Coming for you, Greenland.
But
America.
Do you know what happened?
What?
Nothing happened.
Of course not.
Yeah, nothing. Anybody can sue anybody, including DeSantis. DeSantis can get up there and say, this guy's a degenerate. He can say anything he wants because he also has freedom of speech.
Patrick.
And then the market can decide.
I understand. But if you were me, you're you.
Yeah.
Right? You're you, and you're in Florida, and Florida makes a lot of sense for you. If you were me, if you got betrayed by the British state, and you were locked up for 4 years in the most corrupt country in Europe, and you get free, finally, you don't get a hero's welcome. Instead, you get a complete clown show. And then you go to another country where you're treated in a completely different manner, where you're treated with a hero's welcome, where the leadership explained to you that there's too much decentralization of power in the West, and that what is happening to you is always going to happen, and they apologize for it happening, and they thank you for being there, and thank you for investing your money there, and you're in an inner circle with other billionaires who share the exact same sentiment. Would you say, but I really want to live in Florida where they're desperate to put my head on a pike? No, you'd say, enough is enough. I'm going to live somewhere where I'm not treated like a criminal because I'm not a criminal. For the same reason you want to live here, I can't live here. And that breaks my heart. When DeSantis and his girlfriend, standing on stage, holding hands, apologize to me for what they've done, I will buy a house in Miami. But they're not going to. They're going to continue their little shitty political careers after getting a few Twitter followers for trying to ruin my life and lock me up for no reason. Byron Donalds sold me out. He's a bitch, too. And when all these punks want to sit around saying my name in a negative light, then keep your fucking place. Keep it. I'm not... what else am I supposed to do? And I really do believe if you were in my position, Patrick, you'd make the exact same choice. If you have wife, you have kids. I have 4 women with 6 children in Dubai. I'm going to bring them all here. I'm going to bring all my kids. I'm going to buy all these houses and all these things, knowing that everyone's out to get me.
No, I already told you 3 years ago. Dubai is the place for you. If you want to go, the exchange.
But isn't that wrong?
No, it's not. It's the life you're choosing to live.
What's the life I'm choosing to live? Sorry, Patrick. I hate to interrupt. But what's the life I'm choosing to live? My life is cleaner than 99% of people in this city. I'm not having orgies. I'm not swinging. I'm not going to BDSM clubs. I'm not sniffing coke. I'm not drinking alcohol. Walk around Miami. Everyone's doing more than I ever do. I don't do anything. There are people here in this free country living lives far more degenerate than anything I do. I sit on the internet with opinions. I sit on my laptop and I go to the gym. That's it. You can go to Miami right now. We can go and find a swingers club and find gay men or 10 men fucking one chick high out of their minds on ketamine. No, DeSantis has no problem with that. So it really isn't my lifestyle. It isn't the life I'm choosing to live at all. Unfortunately for me, there's a target on my back. That's what it is. So I need to be somewhere where the leadership understands the world well enough so that people high up, prominent, number 2 or number 3 in the country, vice president level, come to my house and say, it's unfair what is happening to you. That's why the West is collapsing in real time. That's why we're going to be the richest nation on earth, because nobody's money's safe anywhere else. You're welcome here, sir. That's where I should live.
PBD, I'm with Tate on this, and I'll explain why. I'm not with you 100% though.
I love America. I'm
going
to
give you 99%.
But I love America.
And
I love America.
I'm going to give you brotherly advice.
Sure.
I think you've been wronged.
Yep.
I think that you sound like a man who's guilty. A man who's guilty would be like, well, you got to understand. A man who's innocent.
A man who's guilty wouldn't come back here like I'm sitting here right now.
A man who's guilty would not be talking trash to the governor and everybody and calling his AG his girlfriend.
I disagree.
So no,
I think that's what an innocent man does. Investigate me. Come arrest me right now. I'm on the PBD podcast. Come get me.
That's my point.
Come get me.
You sound like you're an innocent man. That's my opinion.
Of course.
You don't sound like a guilty man. A guilty man wouldn't talk like that. A guilty man wouldn't have this much swag and confidence and say, come and get me. We saw how that worked out with Maduro. Come and get me. Oh, we got you, Moselka.
Of course.
Okay. So you also, in a little bit, get more with honey than with vinegar. By the way, can I get a little honey for the tea? If this is okay? Here's the challenge you're going to run into with the UAE. And I do agree with PBD that that's the place for Tate. But you're an American citizen.
Of course.
Here's the challenge you're going to run into, and it has to do with the justice system. Because there's anybody that's been wronged by the justice system, it's the guy sitting to my right. So one of the top guys of the UAE, whatever you want to call him, he says, UAE's great, America's great, UAE's got this, America's got this. The one challenge we have here, he said this, is America has 2 political parties.
Correct.
In the UAE, we have 1 political party.
It's not even a political party, it's a family.
It's a family. Meaning, if you even step out of line for 1 second.
Agreed.
If you think the Justice Department is bad here in the United States or in Romania, you got another thing coming to the UAE.
I'm very aware of this.
So for you, who likes to be able to say and do whatever he wants to do, good luck saying one bad thing about UAE. And I agree. Why would you say anything bad? But when that day comes, what Justice Department would you rather live under? Think about this.
No, you're right.
The American justice system or UAE's?
You're 100% right. And I also want to actually clarify something. I don't actually want to say or do whatever I want. I actually don't. There's a lot of things I don't say, and there's a lot of things I don't do that I want to do. That's not the case. And you're completely right. And I think I said myself earlier, the fact that a governor said my name and I'm not in jail would never happen in many other countries. I completely understand all of that. What I'm saying, just for my peace of mind, and perhaps I get so animated because perhaps I have PTSD. Who knows?
You do.
But I've been sitting for 4 years expecting to be arrested at any random second in my life. When someone says, let's make a plan for next week, I'm like, message me on the morning. I can't plan for a week. Message me Monday morning. Patrick, how hard is it to make a schedule with me? I'm like, change. I work in 2-day increments.
Yeah.
And this is how my brain is. And what I'm just saying, and perhaps it's not logical, I am open enough and smart enough to admit that perhaps I'm being emotional. But I don't feel safe here. And I'm not saying that because I hate America. I'm saying it's sad because I love America.
Yeah.
I battled for Trump harder than anyone.
Yep.
I love America. I love the idea of American power. I'm constantly supporting the American empire. I'm not one of these people who's an accelerationist. I don't think the world's going to be a better place when America finally loses its power and China or Russia's in charge. I don't think the world's going to be better when America can't do what it's currently doing, which is turn up with Black Hawks and kidnaps. I think that's America. I'm all for American power. Take Greenland, take Canada, completely, completely. I love America.
Go for America.
What I'm saying is, I truly believe if any of you were in the same position as me, when you first land in Florida and that crap hits you, your heart's gonna break. And my heart broke.
Yep.
My heart broke. My wife cheated on me. And until I get a sorry or a promise it's not gonna happen again, we're not getting back together. That's what happened to me. My heart broke And when I came here to the podcast with you guys, I said, I cannot believe what they're doing to me. My heart's broken. And you know what? I understand he's a governor, and I understand he's a AG. I understand he can't come on the news and say sorry to me. I'm being animated. But you know what they could do? You know what they could do as a bare minimum? Perhaps you guys agree with me. We've concluded our investigation and found nothing. Can't they issue a statement saying that we investigated him unfairly for no reason and found zero? Can't they just at least do that? That's enough for me to say, look, they got caught up in media spin. I understand their position. They got caught up in media spin. They didn't understand the situation. And they investigated me, and there was nothing to find. No hard feelings. I live in Florida. They can't even do that. No, they want to stick to their guns. Fuck Andrew Tate. Byron wants to say fuck Andrew Tate to try and get votes. All these clowns want to use my name to try and get votes. I don't like this show. I don't like this clown show. And it breaks my heart.
Yeah, but I want to get Pat's opinion on
I wanted
this.
to ask him one thing, and I agree with what all you guys are saying. And Andrew, when I think somebody said something of you brought it on yourself, I think what you did, what you're guilty of in a good way, is you exposed the system. You did exactly what Trump did, and they did to him. Well, they did to you what they did to him, but they actually tried to shoot him in the head and take his head out. So when I say it comes with the territory, what you did, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are appreciative of you saying, hey guys, you pulled over the curtain, you called the Matrix, and you said, this is who's in charge, this is what's the actual deal. Trump did it in his own way about the system here. So I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to say it comes with the territory, but Andrew, you blew the top off of it, and I think once that Pandora's box is open, there is no coming back. I think it's any system that you expose, and this is from you. It's global. It was the UK. It's America.
Of course.
It's all these people freaking are after you because you expose them.
If I have to be, and I try and self-analyze, and I try and be very critical of myself because that's how you improve. And I understand that perhaps I'm being emotional, and perhaps I'm not being fully logical, and I understand all the points you're making, and perhaps I am making a mistake. Perhaps all of these things. I understand it.
And I don't think I don't think you were.
When I was on that jet to land in Trump's America, I'm not landing in a Democrat America. I'm landing in Trump's America after 4 years of unfair imprisonment in a corrupt country. I expected a hero's welcome, and I didn't get it. And all I'm now asking for, at least admit that there's nothing to find on me. Then I'll live here. Just say, we investigated him. He ain't done anything here. Don't say I've never done anything anywhere else. Don't say I'm the most innocent man in the world. Don't say I'm an angel. Just say there's nothing in Florida, case closed. Just do that. Do that and I'll live here. If you're not even going to give me that, if you're going to be so arrogant and you're not even going to give me that, I don't see why you deserve my money. And maybe I'm petty. But you know what? There gets to a point in life where there's nothing really else enjoyable but being petty. Because Trump himself's about to take Greenland because they didn't give him the Nobel Peace Prize. Because you get to a certain level of power and money where being petty is probably the most fun thing you can do. I didn't struggle and go through all this shit and get off the streets and finally make some money and put my life together from absolutely nothing and birth all these beautiful children and go through all this crap to sit there and not have the ability to be petty. If you talk to me like shit and treat me like shit, guess what? I'll go somewhere else.
Well, why don't we do this? Now that...
Get DeSantis here, and then I'll fucking talk to him.
About what?
Does he have to
fix it?
Adam,
Does he have to bring his girlfriend?
You're going on long stuff.
Sure. Bring both of them. And we can all shake hands, and I'll buy a big-ass fat house in Miami, and we'll have a great time. Like, I'm not anti-America in any way.
That won't happen.
So
you're not going to get that from him.
I think you just brought up Trump, and I'm going to ask Pat a question.
Sure.
I think you should take a page out of Trump. Because you just sort of said that Trump is being petty. I think Trump is a different person this time around. I think Vinny might have made the best point of the podcast. And I've never said that about Vinny. If PVD, he does sound petty, emotional.
I don't think he sounds petty. He's talking
he said
crap.
that. He said that.
He deserves it.
I think he has been wronged. None of us has been to jail, cockroaches, rush hour.
Ricky Tan.
Ricky Tang.
Yeah.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? All that. What one thing would you say, Tate? I agree with everything, but change this one thing, man.
You don't.
To him.
No. At 39 years old, no.
Well, you just said
but let me tell you. No.
I can't be saved.
No.
To
I can't be saved.
Listen, you know, when you have when you're an alpha, strong personality, your life is what you've, like the Clementa guy, Rob, who is the guy that said, you know, when I think about any of these characters, myself, Tate, any of these guys, pull the trigger. Let me pull this up. You see where I'm going with this. I always go back to this guy. Okay, I had this guy on the podcast, Jim Clemente, who was a guy that I talked about him the other day.
3 things, pull the trigger.
3 things,
Yeah.
okay, he said. When he interviewed serial killers, he said, genetics loads the gun. So part of that is genetics, blood. Personality and psychology aim, experiences pulls the trigger. This applies to all of us.
Of course.
Like, pulls the trigger doesn't mean just pulls the trigger to gun. Pulls the trigger to starting a company.
Yep.
Pulls the trigger to leaving from California to Texas to Florida. That is a pulls the trigger. Personality and psychology aim. It's my personality and psychology. It's his personality and psychology. It's Trump's personality and psychology. Then experiences pulls the trigger. You know what? Here's what I'm going to be doing. You know what? I think I'm going to leave California. And then, you know what? The life I've lived, personality, I just don't fit here. I'm going to go over here. Yeah, you don't, I'm not in the business of here telling Tate what to do and what not to do. I don't want to go there. I actually want to transition to the next part here. Yeah. And DeSantis is not going to come out and apologize to you.
Of course.
Because DeSantis is further right.
Of course.
He is, like, you know, in America, and you follow this closely, Trump is a Republican, but he's more an independent, okay? He's probably a center-right guy.
Yeah.
DeSantis is here. DeSantis is not here. Trump is here. Trump the other day called Elizabeth Warren and said, hey, what do you think about this?
Because he's trying to get things
credit.
done. Yeah.
He's trying to kind of find out what's going on with the marketplace. And Trump pretty much gets along with everybody until you call him out. Then your enemy, then it's gone. He's coming for your throat.
Trump are alike.
Yes.
There we go. So basically, in conclusion, Trump and I understand each other.
In other
Except
words,
for with Sneeko.
In other words,
He would have called him off.
he would have done that. But in other words, you're moving to Palm Beach, if that's what you're saying. If you're Trump or
Listen, guys, I truly love America. I'm truly an American. I want America to do well. I'm 100% a fan of the American empire. If we get rid of all the bravado and all the emotionality, I just want to be somewhere where I wake up with my children without worrying about getting arrested.
Can I ask you a question? So
That's all it is, guys.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless.
if you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.